Hajer Ghani is an Iraqi artist and jeweler whose skillfully crafted pieces are rich in history and purpose. Taking inspiration from her late father, the renowned Iraqi sculptor Mohammed Ghani Hekmet, Hajer creates unique designs influenced by mythology and the history of Mesopotamia. Inside Arabia and Dr. Hala Fatah had the chance to speak with Hajer about her inspirations and successes, and her intentions to continue creating meaningful statement jewelry and accessories that tell stories and touch hearts.
I started to make jewelry when I was young, but I used to do it for myself, only for my friends or for my parents, for my brother, for my father, just making small pieces, usually in silver. But it was just like a hobby. I didn't mean to, later on to take it as a career. And then later on, after my father passed away, I made a website about him. And then I became to know my father from a different perspective. I looked at him as an artist only. And then later on, I saw almost all his work, all the sketches. Then I got inspired. Every time I look to a statue or a sketch, I just start imagining it as an earring or a ring or a buckle or a brooch. So then I started slowly. I started in silver at the beginning because I was so scared. I wasn't so sure of myself. That's almost 8 years ago. And then later, slowly, I had been encouraged by my friends and family. You should do this. You should, make it in gold, make it for public. See whoever wants to, And then I started doing this.
I just wanted to know, because this is one question that came to my mind when I saw your design collection online. Why did you just choose silver and gold?
Yeah, because I look at my work as something precious, piece of art, and I have to give value to it. Because the value together with the content of the piece of jewelry is very important to me. It's something precious for me. Each piece actually has a story of its own. Because I research the piece, I think about it, I make many sketches, and I choose the stone that could match with the piece that I make. And when I look at it as a whole, there's a balance between the color and the stone and the metal itself, the gold and the silver.
I also wanted to ask you about, the design technicians, the people that helped you in Iraq and elsewhere. Did you have to train any of them? Were they already trained? Did they understand what you were doing?
Of course. Yeah. At the beginning, I tried to use some people because I only gave them the design, the sketch. I am not a jeweler in the beginning. Yes. That was in the beginning.
Sure.
And then but later on, I went to Lebanon, and then with the help of one of my father's friend, he has a foundry, and I went to him and I told him, please, I need your help to. I want someone who is an artist, not only a jewelry maker. So he took me to this person in Beirut, and then from the first piece that we made, he understood me very well. Wonderful. Because he had my vision. Because I don't look at as a piece. It's for me, it's like a sculptor. It has the sharp edges. There should be a shade when you look at it. It's like a 3D. It's not only a flat piece of jewelry. Yeah. And I use always the matte finishing or the patina to give it an antique look for it. So this guy in Beirut, he was really amazing, and he helped me, and he's still working with me and helping me. Later on, I learned how to make jewelry. Of course, it was very slow in the beginning, but now, alhamdulillah, I'm really good in that.
I'm happy to hear that.
I still use his work because I'm very slow.
Yes, of course. Yeah, we all start slow, and then we develop wings later on. Yeah. So I just wanted to know if you had any I mean, you must have gotten a lot of feedback on, on your jewelry design, especially because you exhibited outside and inside as well. So did you get any constructive criticism? Did that help you shape or enhance or?
Yeah, I mean, most of the feedback, to be honest, was really good, because people were, they are looking for something that's different and unique. Something new. Nobody has done this before, because most of the jewelry in the world, I mean, is, let's say, the same with the social media. I mean, it's one small world right now. So my work is totally different and unique, and it has a story. I mean, it has a deepness. It's not only jewelry. So, and people get related to it also because it speaks about history, especially for Iraqis and also for the Arab people from this region. They understand that this is a pure Arab Eastern from this original pieces.
You told me a wonderful story yesterday about how you were selected to exhibit at the British Museum. Yeah. Could you explain that? Because this is really a fabulous story.
Okay, I was in London in the summer of 2018 with my children. I took them to the museum, and we went to see, of course, the Mesopotamia section. This is a must. And then we went to the Assyrian section, and it was closed for the maintenance. And I felt so bad. But then, later I went and asked, when will it be open again? They told me that they are going to exhibit in November the Assyrian section and the story of the King Ashur-Banipal. And I thought with myself, why don't I go and just say that I have some pieces, maybe it would be exhibited.
Yeah.
So I went to the section where they display the jewelry, and I spoke to a guy there, and he told me, oh, that's okay, you go outside of the museum, go to the right, the building is there, you can ask. So I went there and I rang the bell, and then a lady came, and I told her, I have this in my mind. She said, okay, leave your email and we'll contact you. After 2 months, they contacted me in September, and they said, we would love to see your collection. It was so simple. So I sent them photos of my collection, and they were really impressed. They said, it is something very original, and we would love to exhibit it with the Ashur-Banipal exhibition.
It's a great story, really.
Yeah, and so it was exhibited for 4 months in the British Museum.
And you said yesterday it was also...
Yes. Because, and I made one and only. I mean, it's not something repetitive. So it's really, yeah.
Where else have you exhibited your collection?
I exhibited in Bahrain, in Saudi Arabia, in Kuwait, and hopefully to many other places in the future. Yeah,
inshallah, yes. So, this has been over how many years that you've exhibited this jewelry collection?
I started 8 years ago, but I started exhibiting 6 years ago. And recently I went back to Baghdad, and I exhibited in Baghdad, and it was amazing. I felt that the Iraqis, they have a real connection with my work. There's a link between them and with what I'm doing, because most of the stories of the pieces have stories about Iraq and Baghdad in specific.
Yeah, I'm sort of amazed by this, because many of this younger generation, I mean, they don't know your father perhaps, or they don't know anything about the older generation of painters and artists for which Iraq was very famous for.
I mean, for us, I know that for a fact that Iraqis love art.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember, I'll tell you a story. One day, the fountain of my father, the Aladdin fountain, because it's filled with water, they sent me some photos that there are small kids are using it as a swimming pool. And they were criticizing that. Oh, why is that? So I wrote on my Facebook page. I said no, because these kids would be familiar with sculptor. It will not be something like they don't have relation with. So also in Baghdad, for Shahriyar and Shahrazad, if you see, the kids are always climbing on it. So there is always a relationship between children, even if they don't understand it, but it will stay with them.
Sure.
That they accept to see art in the street.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the key, because when I spoke in the exhibition, I went in Baghdad. Of course, now with the social media, and even I was on the TikTok. That I don't have a TikTok personally, but I was on the TikTok. But this reaches the kids so fast.
Yeah, yeah.
So this small generation, now they know where they are when they are passing by the statue. They know what is it, what's about.
Yes, of course.
Who's that person who made it?
They've come into physical contact
Exactly.
with it. Yeah,
so,
yeah.
and I felt that I added up to my father. That I'm
Yeah.
very proud of that.
Yeah. So what life lessons have you learned from being a jewelry designer in the Middle East, in the Arab world? Is there anything that you think, did you find any difficulties whatsoever, or did you find many challenges in starting this as a woman?
No, none. I think that challenges that I face is just to start something by myself. I mean, I don't have any fund or backup. It's a completely personal thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I started slowly. I'm happy now that I am growing. The challenges that I had is to let the people accept my work, because my work is very different. It's not the typical flower or heart, or it's and also to let the people understand, especially women, that they can be unique, they can be different. They don't all have to wear the same thing.
Sure.
And there is also a relationship between this region. I mean, this region is full of history, mythology, mysteries. Really, our region is
I agree.
rich,
Yeah.
really rich.
Yeah, and
I mean, we
regional
don't-
connection is very important.
Exactly. We don't have to take the designs from the West, with all my respect. To be unique is really hard to explain to the buyers, let's say, or the customers. Especially, I also use my father's work. The statues, I change them and I make them piece of jewelry. They are totally, unique. I did a collection of the gods and goddesses of Mesopotamia. And I had the help of Dr. Salam Taha, who helped me with my work, with my research, and also help from the artist Ali Al-Tajer. He helped me also with that, because I did a full research. Of course, the big influence is my mother. She's an archaeologist.
Yeah.
But later on, to explain that these are the gods and goddesses, of course, that's 7,000 years ago.
Yes.
It wasn't easy to be accepted. But in Iraq, that's a different. In Iraq, it was amazing. People were, wow, impressed.
Yeah.
Because there's always a connection, a link
Sure.
that they have. They feel it's personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
It's personal.
Yeah.
Yes. I just wanted to know, what are your future projects, if you have any?
Yeah, I do want to get bigger in the future, to go to kind of fashion design, and of course I will stay with the jewelry designing, and I hope to be international, because I really want to show the world how much richness that we have, even through jewelry. I have it in me. I am an Iraqi, Arabic person from Mesopotamia, from the Arab world. As my father used to say, he feels that he's a soul of the Sumerian or Abbasid artist. Well, I do have the same feeling. I'm so connected to my roots. I think wherever I go, I will take it with me.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
I use the cuneiform writing, the first alphabet in the world, and I made small words like love, pride, hope, and into jewelry. and with a card that explaining the meaning of it. So this is a step for the young generation to understand that we have a great civilization. We took the letter itself and exposed it to all the world.
Yes.
Because before the writing was through small drawings. But for the Iraqis, for Mesopotamia, they changed and they created letters so they can have an alphabet and they can write whatever they want. So I made jewelry with the small words, like this ring, for example, that's saying, that means beginnings.
Okay,
and
lovely.
that was the first piece I made.
Yeah.
This stone is, because every stone have a story. So this is agate is a very strong stone. It's very old. It's been used for thousands of years. So that's why I use it, and with the design that's really like, it looks like an antique.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. And I use this one. This is the symbol of love.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
beautiful.
a symbol of love, and I made with heart and with a flashy color for the young girls.
These beautiful gold panels here.
Yes, this is an earring. And I
Lovely.
made it with the patina, so it would look also antique.
Yes,
Yeah.
sure. Really very graceful and beautiful things.
Thank you.
What is this?
It's a buckle.
Ah, okay.
It's a buckle of two people dancing.
Oh, how lovely. Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. And now we're going to talk about your father's sculpture.
Yeah, this sculpture is, says that's like a prayer, asking for help. You know, it's made of bronze.
Yeah. In the background over here, I don't know if you see this. This is her father's cuneiform description of our names. We went and visited him once, many, many years ago, obviously, and he wrote down all the names of the visitors in cuneiform. And I think everybody whom he visited perhaps has a similar present. Yeah.
Actually, he created this font.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
he created. It's not cuneiform. It's Arabic,
Mhm.
but it's inspired by the cuneiform writing.
Okay, so I mean, when I
Yes.
first saw it, I thought it was cuneiform. Yeah,
That's why. That's exactly what he means for
Okay.
people to look at it. And then I took this font, and all my jewelry, I do that with that font. Especially this one, for example. This is Bismillah.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known that if you had
Yes.
pointed it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I took his font and I used it in jewelry.
I think that's beautiful.